All right, how about Justin Fields making it? Listen, it was a given for a while that the Bears were going to just draft Caleb Williams, and that would be that. And I still think that there's a very high likelihood that happens. But he's at least made it a decision again. Fields has made it something you have to consider, and at the very least, if the Bears do decide to move off of him, they're going to get some draft capital back by moving Fields because he's been playing well, and he had a really good game here against the Lions, starting off with a play like this, which to me, this stuff still is his biggest strength. So it's a zone coverage blitz here by the Lions. Watch as when Fields takes the snap, he's going to drift back in the pocket a little bit and a window develops. And this just makes it so difficult when you're trying to pass rush Fields. It's like you're trying to pass rush, but it's also if you start to get a step on your assigned man, well then a gap might open up, which could allow Fields to move here on a key 3rd down and 3. As you see, Fields steps up in the pocket. A defender got a hand on him, but as we all know, getting a hand on Fields is usually not enough. Great stuff by Justin Fields, and these are just the kind of things that he does consistently for the Bears, and it's so difficult to defend against. Like this one's an even better example, I think, where it's a 3rd down and 8 situation. It's going to be man coverage, and it's a blitz. So, okay, again, they're sending pressure. They're trying to make sure that they can pressure Fields and make things happen that way. Well, watch how when this play begins, Fields it's almost like he just accepts that, okay, there's going to be pressure, whatever. Like on a blitz like that, ideally, you're getting rid of the football quickly, right? Like that's what they teach you is you want to get rid of football as quick as possible. He did have an opportunity to throw it relatively quickly, but not a great opportunity. So I kind of understand why he's holding on to the ball for a minute. But the other thing is like most quarterbacks, you're just like, oh, terrible play. Held on to the ball for too long. Terrible play. Had to make something happen. But watch Fields gets out of this, and then another defender comes. He's going to get around that as well. He gets towards the outside, and again, he does look down the field, so that's good stuff, right? He's not always someone who has to run once he puts his head down, but, his legs are usually the best option the Bears have. As you see, watch him run forward, picks up the 1st down, and then slides. Again, protecting himself has been an issue over the years, but good stuff there to protect himself. To me, this is still his best trait. This is still what he does best. Granted, going over here, it doesn't always work out. This play is going to be a 3rd down and 9 situations, and again, the Lions are going to send pressure here. As you see, Fields takes the snap, and this time it is going to not result in a great offensive play. Instead, he gets sacked. So, you take the good with the bad, right? There's definitely more good with his rushing ability than with his, than the bad that comes with it. But there still is, there do have to be some negatives attached to it, right? Like, again, real quick, just another one of those before we get back into the positives. This is a 3rd down and 13 situation. As you see, Fields takes the snap, and there's going to be pressure that comes from his blind side. And while obviously you can't see the blind side, you are over 3 seconds into the play. So you do at a certain point have to realize this is going to happen. It's, actually, I paused it right at 3 seconds into the play. Usually you get about 2.5 seconds. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but in the NFL level, that's what sometimes separates fumbles from incomplete passes. As you see, Fields is taken down, and it's initially ruled a fumble there, recovered by the Bears anyway, but still not the most ideal situation. Bad things can happen, but these are nitpicks, really. I mean, the reality is, when it comes to his legs, the good by far and away outweighs the bad. And let's talk about the throwing, because that's the real question, I think, with Fields. Because everyone really knows his legs are great. Like, that's never been a criticism. I think the criticism has usually been, how can he do with the throwing ability? And, watching the game, certainly a big aspect of it was guys were getting open. They were. This play is going to be Cole Kmet trying to get into a gap in coverage over the middle. Okay, let's see how it works. Watch as when, you're going to see Fields runs a quick play action, throws over the middle. You see Cole Kmet is wide open here. I mean, it doesn't get much more open. Still was well-timed by Fields, though. That is an important aspect is, yes, it was very open, but part of why it was very open was because Fields threw it at the correct time. And that's always something that, we have to talk about, is people tend to view these things as, well, the quarterback just hit the open guy. That's not so difficult to do. Well, it's more difficult to, part of why it wasn't difficult to do was because he threw it at the right time, which I think he deserves credit for. Granted, you see him hit Kmet, and then Kmet runs and picks up a ton of yards after the catch. Like, okay, yeah, sure. That was more of a Cole Kmet play than a Justin Fields play. But there were some plays that were the opposite, that were more of Justin Fields plays than, anything else. Something like this, where it's Darnell Mooney he's trying to hit. It's going to be a zone coverage concept here on cover 3 zone. But, the Lions corner who's in the area, he's relatively in position to, be paying attention to Mooney. He's going to be the one who's covering Mooney on this play, and that's Cam Sutton, the corner. As you see, Fields takes the snap, and there's a bit of a window, but Cam Sutton closes on it pretty nicely. I mean, this is as contested of a catch as it gets, really. Fields trying to see if he can make it work. And as you see, that's a thing of beauty right there. And then because Sutton went to try and, knock the pass away, able to get some yards after the catch. So really, I mean, it was a good day from Fields. It was. I don't know what you do from here, and the nice thing is you don't have to make your decision just quite yet. You still get 4 more games. I still think, again, I haven't fully scouted the young quarterbacks yet, so I can't say for certain. I still think if you like one of the young quarterbacks and thinks that they're like a high-level prospect, you probably make the move, if nothing else, because, get, the rookie contract going, right? Even if you believe in Fields now, still good to have a rookie contract situation. I also think that there still have been, Fields' issues has never been that he doesn't have the good games. It's usually the inconsistency has been his biggest criticism. So I still think I would probably look to trade Fields and go with, another option if you like that other option. But if you don't love any of the quarterbacks coming out, it gives you more flexibility now. And now it's more of a choice to go out and get a quarterback as opposed to feeling like you have to go out and get a quarterback if that's what you want to do, which puts you in a much better situation, I think. Which teams should go out and trade for Fields, and how much money, how much capital would you get for that? I mean, listen, Sam Darnold got a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, right? Like, Fields is going to get you at least a 2nd round pick, I think. I think some quarterback needy team would go out and do it. I don't know if maybe the Raiders could be an interesting option. One of the teams, I think maybe, a team that in the NFC South, honestly, potentially any of those teams could make sense, but I don't know. Tampa Bay would make sense. Atlanta would make sense. Teams that aren't going to have great draft picks, but could still use a quarterback. I could see one of them going out and adding Fields, even if it's just a plan B situation. And who knows? Maybe he's still with the Bears next year. And hey, Bears outside shot at the playoffs too. I didn't even mention that, but there is kind of the thought that, talking about next year, I don't know, they can find a way to beat Cleveland next week. They then play the Cardinals and the Falcons. It's possible to be 8-8 playing Green Bay the last game of the season. Not saying it's going to happen, but at least, makes it fun if you're a Bears fan, especially when you pretty much already have the number 1 overall pick locked up with the Panthers pick. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.